Podcasting today in 4K, 422 10-bit color. Look at the difference in the white shade to the red to the autumn. You could tell that's orange for once. So I'm gonna need you to hit that like. I'm gonna need you to hit that subscribe. Look at that. I'm not gonna have this for long. And I'm still out here making content for you. I could be going out there shooting a film for myself, but I decided to bring it to you. So I need you to bring the love to me. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit that bell to stay notified. I'll be live on Twitch. I've been live like almost every day now. I don't know how long I'm going to keep that up for, but I've been live pretty much every day. I don't know how I'm managing it. I'm getting used to it, I guess. I'll talk to you about kids. And no, not the way that you think. Let's really talk about rude kids. Fire ass transitions. A brief history of kids today are too rude. 2022. Siri State of Affairs. Voice assistants Siri and Alexa are making kids rude and antisocial. As I was saying, voice assistants Siri and are making kids rude and antisocial, scientists fear. 2014. Compared with when they were students, Americans today believe that there's a lot less respect in the hallways of the nation's schools. A new Harris poll Thursday finds that fewer adults believe teachers respect parents or students, and that fewer believe parents and students respect teachers. In other words, just about every relationship in a school has soured a bit. 2001. Going to church these days is like going to a park or picnic. Where is all the respect gone? It's church. First it was women in shorts and backless sundresses, and now it's men in shorts and tank tops. Is it any wonder that kids today are disrespectful and mannerless? 1997. About 70% of the country believes kids today are rude and have no morals, a very low number. It should be around 90%. The reason is simple. Most go to public schools, which are mostly run by teachers from the 60s who teach kids whose parents are from the 60s. They are taught liberalism in school and nothing at home. Teachers and parents believe in the philosophy of the 60s. Do anything you want. So they do. (1982). Children are ruder and nastier. School children are becoming ruder to teachers and nastier to each other, according to Rising Brook headmaster Andrew Walker. 1978. Beatty notes. Kids are disrespectful. It's a sign of the times. We can and should expect the same until society changes, he said. It's a pronoun! It's a pronoun! There was no problem. In 1964, there was no problem maintaining law and order in the classroom in our day, Mrs. Alexander said. A switch was always very handy. Mrs. West said she thought things had really changed since we came up. Both she and Mrs. Alexander said that children did not mind their parents like they did when we were young. Mrs. Alexander said children are worse today than they were. They're disrespectful. 1954. It is true that kids are less respectful than they used to be. Back in the Coolidge administration, kids used to call their parents' friends Mr. and Mrs. Now they're likely as not to call the old man's golf partner Charlie, and to speak of the lady across the street as Lucy. 1946. Young Folks Often Rude by Emily Post. Behavior such as described in the following letters typical of the younger generation's rudeness. Recently I was criticized because while at a mixed party given by a girl my own age, I rose when her mother entered the room to greet her daughter's guests. The boys rose also, but no other girl did so. I should like to know which is proper in such an instance. The others were extremely rude to have remained seated while greeted by one who was so much older. 1930. Those who remember the politeness of the late Victorian period complain that life has not lost its savor. Judge J. H. Scott of Ontario, speaking to educationists of that province lately, said that Canadian school children are ill mannered. Quote, the inculcation of habits of civility, modesty, respect, neatness in appearance, and other niceties of behavior, said the judge, quote, is of the first importance and ought to be well on its way before a child goes to school. Unquote. Good manners, of course, are not an artificial game, but the outward expression of a desire to be kind and to inflict no unnecessary pain. And Judge Scott is right when he says that politeness in this sense is becoming rarer. 1921. Hold the fuck on. Let's do this the right way. Okay, my voice is sounding way different now. Says youth today is rude. Charles W. Eliot hopes trend is only on surface. Girls are slangy and do not resent Girls are slangy and do not resent course and manners of young men. Harvard President Emeritus notes. Boston's distinguished fuck you, bro. Boston's distinguished octogenarian. Boston's distinguished octogenarian President Emeritus Charles W. Eliot of Harvard is discussing the manners of men and women. He says that he has watched young women and their ladies for 3 generations, and their habits have changed tremendously since he was a young man. Dr. Eliot's remarks were made in an address at the Society of Harvard Dames in Cambridge the other day and were printed in the Harvard Alumni Bulletin. Excerpts follow. The influence of women on the manners and customs of men has changed wonderfully within my lifetime. It is very different now from what it was when I was a boy and a young man. 1911. Sequence of bad-mannered children, ill-mannered youth. From the Brockville Times. A few weeks ago, Earl Grey, the Governor General, expressed regret at the lack of manners in some parts of Ontario of the children. The utterance of the Governor General attracted general attention and many newspaper comments were made upon it. The press was practically unanimous in agreeing that Earl Grey was only too correct in his expression of regret. 1906! Old-fashioned style dropped. Quote, no sir, unquote, quote, yes, ma'am, unquote, and all that sort of thing is being eliminated from the public schools of this city, and the pupils are being taught to reply with directness, yes and no, when spoken to at the same time. This innovation is not pleasing at all members of the Board of Education who insist upon the good old-timed way. Advocates of the new order of things deny that it will make the children disrespectful and point out that when the youngster is at home and is asked, Willie, will you have another piece of pie? He should reply, no, mother, I have had sufficient. It is only when conversing with persons who are not relatives that the plain yes and no are employed. 1896. In the English press, a discussion has arisen over the question, have children's manners declined? The conclusion generally reached by those who have taken part in the debate is that behavior is worse or appears to be worse. The second view is taken by the Spectator, which asserts that children do not lack manners, but that parents have become so nervous and highly strung they cannot endure children as they did 50 years ago. As far as we can see it, quote unquote, it says, quote, there is only one substantial cause of complaints, which are undoubtedly rife as to the decay of children's manners. The nerves of the parents are no doubt more highly strung than they used to be. For one person who 50... I could really continue on with this joke, but it's hard to because, like, at this point, like, we weren't really doing the telephone game, the radio game, you know what I mean? So, like, I'm gonna keep it going, but just take me at face value on this next part because this wouldn't be how they sounded. Moral teaching to the editor. Sir, having noticed of late several letters in your columns commenting on the increase of juvenile depravity, permit me to say that the chief source of the growing evil is the apathy or neglect shown by parents to religious or moral instruction. It is in the family circle, around the domestic birth, that the moral lessons contained in the Bible about should be first inocul- incu- inculcated, whatever. Where this is neglected, we need not to be surprised to find the children disrespectful to their elders and delighting, as it were, in evil ways. I am Sir E. Flinders Bar East. Oh my fucking god. I'm almost at the end. I gotta keep going. I gotta keep going. Alas, what do we see with the frequency painfully significant in these days? Children insolent and disobedient, even young men of whom we might justly expect better things, impudent, contemptuous of age and experience, self-willed and swaggering, frequenters of the tempting saloon, and easy dupes of vice and crime. Is prosperity to be expected for them? 1853. Boys ought to read and remember. It seems to us, perhaps we are mistaken, that the spirit of true politeness among juveniles is decreasing as the world grows older. By the term politeness, we do not mean the affected gentility which displays itself for grimaces and conkeys, but that genuine respect for all sorts of propriety which springs impulsively from a mind school to do right for the sake of right. The boys of this generation as a class are remarkably precocious in rudeness. Perhaps they... 18 fucking 29. From my childhood, I always delighted to collect the fragments of time long past, to listen to Gruel's old age, as with many an expression of disgust he pounds out the fashions and follies of the present day, and then with much satisfaction tells of those good old times when there were no saucy children nor unmannerly young men, when the girls never stared from under... Socrates. The children now love luxury. You get the point. You get the point. Anyway, we back. Say all that to say, I'm clearly one of them motherfuckers myself. I've uttered that thought, that phrasing out loud. Damn, kids today seem mad unruly. I'm closer to them than I am to them. It's always been this way. Get your head out of your ass, bro. Get your head out of your ass. Sorry you had to find out this way, but we are just in a time, we are just in an era where we are so rapidly pushing forward. We are so rapidly pushing ourselves to new heights that we just are able to notice things a lot quicker than most people are able to notice things. And it's crazy how that works. You know? I just find it super funny that like I've echoed that so early in my life. Why do I feel like I'm not, this isn't all one experience? How rapidly did things change to make us detached from it? How quickly did the capitalist system take hold on me? Like, just makes you think about certain things. And I just want you guys to hear that and realize that these arguments that a lot of people make are not new. And you don't have to find a new way to beat them. Just point out, yo, you've always been saying this. You've always been this. You've always been saying this. Shut the fuck up. I'm the paradigm shift, baby, and I'll see you in the next one.